Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. It's already starting. Jesus really has such a sense of humor, like, oh my gosh, when you just start seeing that, the things that happen. So this morning in meditation, and I know he knows how much I love that Death Star canteen, where he says, I can kill you with a thought. And you realize I'm trying to kill myself with a thought. And so I was spending time with Jesus, really looking at that desire to kill myself with thought. Is there any desire below my level of awareness? And he's like showing it, kill yourself with a thought. That's the whole gig, is killing ourselves, trying to kill ourselves with a thought. Like, I mean, you see how funny that is. If that's creeping around inside there, like Darth Vader below your level of awareness, you're gonna feel dead all the time. You can see how these energies run ramshod. And so, of course, in all the humor of it, we come to today's lesson. 338, I am affected only by my thoughts. It was already, okay. And then, you just see how it all comes together for you. Like, there's nobody else out there. So who's it coming for? And then Irene writes me last night, I got in touch with the desire to kill God. Can you address this in the next light circle? See, it all comes together. I can kill you with a thought. Jesus, do I have the desire to try and kill myself with a thought? See how well that works, when you really start looking at them, talking to them about mind wandering. What is it? Trying to kill yourself with a thought. Is that all a thought? Mind wandering. That addiction, that love of thought hell. Not wanting to give them up. Jesus, do I not want to give up thoughts? Do I really like them? Like having a little thought hoard, like a hamster. A hamster runs around, it takes more food and then hides it. When you start asking them these things, am I like a hamster trying to hoard thoughts below my level of awareness? And he says, yep. You got the little hamster pockets, collecting your little nuts. Little thought nuts below your level of awareness. And then what happens? They spring out. I feel like I've been swacked by something. I told the story about the cow. You get cow tipped. I told that story about like when I was in graduate school. And on LSU. Now LSU, Louisiana State University, it's like right on, is this a purpose? Yes. Talk about go Tigers. And, that's another thing. I'm not going to those football games. Guess what? Anyway, you just never tell Jesus never. That's just really clear. But anyway, so LSU's like right on the river, and you can drive down the river, and then all these farms are kind of along there, and they have cows. Now, I don't know if this is true. This is like, part of the story of the lore, that kids from the school would go out at night because the rumor has it. See, it's all a rumor. Even consciousness is a rumor. we can see that it's not that serious. We do a check-in with the light to see if anything in consciousness is serious whatsoever. So to sneak out at night and cows in the room are, somebody's going to send me a text going, they do not sleep right side up. But anyway, you can use the example for however it's helpful. And then they'd sneak when the cows were asleep and they'd tip them over. It's such a good example of how that is when you fall asleep. See, then you get cow tipped. Bink. You know, you get knocked over by the own idea we have of ourselves. We, consciousness, whatever that is. Desire to deny divinity is what we're getting tipped by. We're getting tipped over all the time. Jesus, how many times a day am I getting cow tipped? Am I snoozing? And then, you know, what happened? Oh my gosh. Nothing's happening. I am affected only by my thoughts. Jesus, will you show me that that's true? How much I like really, really, with every power that I have, want to be tipped by a thought. I want to be killed off by a thought. You can ask him and see what he tells you. Do I want to be killed by a thought? Pretend like I can be killed. You know, when you got that flurry of thought flies buzzing around, I feel like I can't swim for these. Like there's so many thoughts that we never noticed before, because now we're noticing. Desires are the sticky paper for the flies. It just pulls the flies in. Yes, Jesus. You know, see that the light's not a thought magnet. To swim through a sea of thoughts. If I can just swim fast enough, those thoughts aren't going to catch me. Yeah. And I can get to the island of safety out there, the island of peace that somehow past all these thoughts that I'm going to swim past them. You can see how that's death in thought right there. See, because it's a future. There's the future, the little swimming, trying to swim past all the thoughts. If I can just get past these, then I'll be infinite. If I can see when I have the decision to see how much I desire these thoughts, let Jesus go with Jesus. Jesus, will you show me like how I want to kill myself with a thought? Basically, ask him. Very humbling. It gets funnier. You can see, wait a minute, I just tried to kill myself with a thought. You know, because at first it seems like, because of the way consciousness plays in desire, in the make guilty plan. So these things like the desire to kill God, do they need to come in awareness? Let's ask Jesus. Does my desire to kill God need? Yes, because you believe you have, that it's possible. So it's like Muji calls it sober seeing. This seeing is soberly looking dead on to see the desire to kill God and just see what happens when that comes into awareness. See if the light disappears. If just ask Jesus, is anything going to happen to me if I get in touch with the desire to kill God? Like if that suddenly shows up, well, the idea of who you are will melt away. It was so beautiful. I mean, Irene was like on it. I'm holding Jesus's hand. It was so great. Ta-da! And he's saying that repeatedly to the beings. You see, just see that nada happens, nothing. Go ahead. Then we're not intimidated by our own thought. I can kill you with a thought, you know. Oh, that's Darth Vader coming to kill me with a thought. With his little plastic Lego sword. And then we can kind of laugh. Oh, all right. But until it's seen, you can ask Jesus, do I need to see it? Just see it. See, it's just looking at it. How we tried to hide the devil from ourselves and then so we could play with the devil. I'm affected only by my thoughts and not admit it. The desire for the experience to be affected by my own thoughts is a play in consciousness. We can ask Jesus, do I really, 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 really like super duper really like thought? To get in there and define myself by thoughts. I like it. See, until we see how much that's the Hunger Games, the hunger for thought. And then you spin out into a whole play of the Hunger Game movie, trying to fight off and see who doesn't get killed and defend. So we can just ask Jesus, can I actually be killed by a thought? Is all of this just one big fat thought? And do thoughts come from my desire for thought? So I'm actually the manufacturing plant for all thought, not you, the desire, the play of desire in consciousness. Is mind wandering the desire to kill myself in thought? Try to kill myself, kill the light from awareness. It's just killing the light from awareness. Because we can see as the light, which the light of divine being, is it going away? Or is it here, infinite, unchanging light? We can ask him, Jesus, do I need to engage in thought? And here's the answer, no. See, it's just the error of thought. See how it's the error of thought. The error of thought is thinking that thoughts need to be thought. That they're necessary. Are they necessary? That's what we don't want to hear. Thoughts aren't even necessary. So is this whole gig, Jesus, an addiction to thought? And hear what he says. To thought puppets. It's helpful to see how much it's wanted, though. Oh, I want thoughts, and admit it and just let them really show you. Oh, I do. I want thoughts more than God. I do. That is helpful. See, the ego is going to play off. If I look at that, I'm going to be incinerated. Yes, you as an ego will be incinerated. Instantaneous incineration. Do I feel, Jesus, that there is any salvation, that salvation can be found in thought below my level of awareness? You can ask him. How much, with every bit of energy that I could put in it, want to define myself by thought? See, that's the desire, the wish, but it's all hidden under there. So he's, again, just like the metal detector on the beach or whatever. It's most helpful to see that it's hidden so well. See, the I wants to get involved. Ask him how much the I wants to be involved in. I'm going to help you hunt those babies down. No, you're not. Ask Jesus how much the I wants to just get in there and help you find the pockets. Yes, that's the one that's in it. Then it goes out at night and buries 8 more. That's why he says you do not know your own best interests. So we must go with the one who knows where all the little bones are buried, as we say. Jesus knows where all the bones are buried. All the thoughts of trying to kill ourselves. So you can ask him and just hear what he says. Jesus, is the thoughts trying to kill myself? Believe in them. Trying to kill what cannot be killed. And my brother too, whoever I can get in there. Throw my brother in there, throw God in there, throw myself in there, and sharpen a big old axe of thought to try to chop them into pieces. Purely for entertainment. And we can be honest, honesty of God. Jesus, do I need you to show me what honesty of God is? Do I not even know what honesty of God is? Am I so used to using thought to defend myself that I don't even have a clue about honesty of God? Not a clue. And hear what he says, not one shred. Not one shred of honesty. But, you know, it's not like where your parents, see, that's the other thing ego does with honesty. You know, here's how the ego plays with honesty. Johnny, did you steal that cookie? You better be honest with me. Do you see? It creates a whole scenario about what honesty is. That honesty is punishment. That's not, whether you stole the cookie has nothing to do with anything. Ask Jesus. Who set up the rules that taking a piece of flour cooked out of a box is stealing? Who made that rule? It has zero to do with honesty. You go to a court of law, put your hand on the Bible. I swear to tell the whole truth. And Jesus adds it as I'm deluded enough to tell it. I'm putting my hand on the Bible to be deluded enough to try to sit in that courtroom and tell the truth. If I admit, no, the only thing to admit is that you don't want light. That's the only honesty. Ask Jesus. Is the only honesty, I do not want to be light. That makes it really simple. Then you can just really be with him and, okay, no, not that. I don't want that. Don't want that either. Do not want light. And then you start to see, but wait a minute, the light's here anyway, and I don't want it at the same time. How's that working? Is that possible? It's helpful to look. I mean, yes, helpful to look at the desire for thought to obscure the recognition of light. He says it's the only peace of mind you'll ever have, is seeing through that desire to try and kill yourself through thought. It's helpful to remember that when that big flood of, oh my gosh, it's a time for celebration. I typed her back right away. This is great. Who says that it's fantastic to see that we're trying to kill ourselves through thought or kill God? See, and the ego is going to go, oh my gosh, all this, because it moves in of the desire not to really look deeply far enough with Jesus to see it does not, cannot, will not, never happen that light can be killed. Because we can see the lights here. It's not going anywhere. Try to hit it with a hammer. It's going to still be here. It's good. It's the light experiment, the light test. Walk down to the grocery, light still here? Yeah. Go out in the backyard, is the light still here? As we said about the Joker, empty out the refrigerator, crawl in the refrigerator, play like a turtle, is the light still here? See, it just, the light's here. So then it's like, okay, well, I don't, and it's peaceful. Is the light anything other than peace? It's like, okay, now I really got to work with Jesus. In fact, as farther down you go, you're just going, holy smokes, I need your help, Jesus. I really, really triple, really quadruple, a billion times do not want to be what I am. And I certainly do not want to forgive myself for the decision not to be who I am. Because see, then it's game over. There's just light. There's not the pretending, the dishonesty of not being light. And here he comes in, of course, he's already said it all. But we still need reminders, as everyone says here. I need that reminder, keep saying it. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. I am affected only by my thoughts. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. Like the deep, Jesus, can you help me see totally? As we said, just let this whole lesson just sing in my heart, because then you will sing. You'll see that you're always singing unless you believe that thoughts have an effect. Then you just feel like there's like a swarm of stinging bees all the time. And to not admit that the swarm of bees is a desired experience. Okay, so let's just really, this is good. Jesus, is there any little residual dust bunnies below my level of awareness? And I'm asking, can we look at them as dust bunnies? Yes, it's best to consider them to be dust bunnies. Not to take them seriously, like we're going to actually find something under the bed, you know, like the boogeyman under the bed, and all there is a couple of little chunks of dust rolling around under there. You know, oh my God, I don't want to look under the bed. When I was a kid, I had these little kind of quasi nightmare things where I was in the bed and these little black hands, long black hands with fingers were going to come get me. You know, that's what we're playing with. As he said, we're dreaming the black finger arms are going to come get us from under the bed. No, Jesus is saying, and isn't that what parents do with their kids? Take out a flashlight, come over here, look under the bed, take out the dust bunnies, see, sweep them out from under the bed, look at them closely. You know, that's a really beautiful symbol and form of the snake and the rope. Yeah. Looking over and insisting there's a snake in the corner. and seeing that it's just a rope. Can ask Jesus, does consciousness play that way? And we've all had this experience where you seem to catch some kind of movement out the corner of your eye, and you jump about 3 feet, you know, and it was just a moth flying by. Jesus is saying they're all moths flying by. I love that. Muji says, you are not a container for thoughts. Jesus, do I want to be a container for thoughts? Do I really like it? And I say, oh, I'm trying to get away from these thoughts. And then underneath it, it's like, oh, like this. Oh, I want them. It's like until we see how much we want them. Want to play with them, dink around, stick our fingers, stir the pot. How much they're more wanted than infinite light. It's already here. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. For in this single thought, this is a good thought to hang on to. Thank you, Jesus. I'm affected only by my thoughts. For in this single thought is everyone released at last from fear. Jesus, am I only pretending to fear my thoughts? Am I miscreating thoughts so I can play fear game? Wow, okay. So fear is just getting lost in thought. And here is the answer: the desire to get lost in thought. This is a valuable conversation to have with Jesus. Now has he learned that no one frightens him and nothing can endanger him, admitting that it's all just thought. He has no enemies. Jesus, do I have the desire for an experience of making little thought enemies? He says, you like making little thought armies. You can ask him. Do I like making little thought armies and playing with them, you know, like little kids with those little army men? Yeah. Ask Jesus if it's any different from that. Indirect experience is any different from making little thought armies. So I just created a whole 9 billion army to play with. Did I create all that, Jesus? Mm-hmm. It's really hilarious when you look around and you go, I created all this? Yes. Mm-hmm. It's so quick, the answer comes. Like you can't, you know, there's no getting around that Jesus lane. No getting around that honesty. The velvet axe. Okay. Nothing can endanger him. Jesus, can I ever be in danger? Do I like to play like I can be in danger? Play the danger game? Danger, danger. Can I laugh about this game? Yeah. Being in danger? Yep. Oh my gosh, that was so great to watch The Man Who Knew Too Little. You know, every time you watch these Deeper with Jesus and he just shows you all the little play with thought, the little play with the thought army. And he shows you, oh, I'm in that little army of thought right now, aren't I, Jesus? He'll go, yep. He has no enemies and he is safe from all external things. His thoughts can frighten him. Okay, so let's just ask him so we can be totally clear of what this is. Jesus, is there a desire for an experience below my level of awareness to be afraid of thoughts? Is all I'm afraid of a thought? So am I playing the Darth Vader in the Death Star canteen game? I could kill you with a thought. Am I liking that game? Do I like that kill myself with a thought game? It's very humbling when you hear yes. I'm going to kill myself with a thought. Death by tray it shall be. Darth Vader in the canteen going to try to kill somebody with a tray. Is this any different? I can kill you with a thought. Death by tray. Is it all death by a little food tray? And see Jesus go, it's all the same. That video is worth watching a couple of times because you really pick up a bunch. Plus you'll laugh and you'll see how true it is. I just smacked myself with a thought there, Jesus, and you can have a little more fun with them. I just whacked myself with a thought. Okay. Then we see it as the same, all the same. No, no, and big fat no to light. Just like, okay. Now he has learned that no one frightens him and nothing can endanger him. He has no enemies and he is safe from all external things. So he's just trying to have us hand over the desire for thought. You can ask him. It's all, just give me the thoughts. See that they have no power over you other than what you, when you set out the thought magnet called desire and pretend like you're not doing that, then it's going to hurt. His thoughts can frighten him, but since these thoughts belong to him alone, he has the power to change them and exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. That feels helpful to be really clear on with Jesus. Let's ask him. So that detonation, the acceptance of divine power, that infinite light has the power to exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. Do I have that power, Jesus? He says you always can, it's just you don't want to. That's why he has to show us where we don't want to. That's why this new means given to go with him to look at the desire not to, the desire to keep thought is our little precious bucket of happiness that we believe is happiness. See, we can know it intellectually that it's hell. But until it's seen that salvation, there's a belief that salvation is in it. Till you see the death in it. And so it flips. See, otherwise it's that little secret, keeping it because the desire for salvation and thought. It won't be looked at directly with Jesus to be admitted. How it's a denial. It's a desired denial of divine power. And admit that we actually have the power to change each fear thought for a happy thought of love. It's always been in our power and it's never been out of our power. He's just showing us how we're deciding and aligning with weakness and pretending like, oh, I can't do anything about these thoughts that are smacking me right and left. But see that it takes a me for a thought to hit. See, is the light getting smacked around by thoughts? Does the light know what a thought is? So see that he's exchanging the thoughts we think we have for the idea, the higher order thoughts of these miracle thoughts. You can ask them, are the Course lessons miracle thoughts? They're given by the one who knows as what's most helpful. So it's really, the whole gig is not willing to admit I am affected only by my thoughts. You can ask him, Jesus, am I unwilling to admit I am affected only by my thoughts? Okay, show me where I'm unwilling to admit that. I'm willing to ask for a miracle. He'll just tell you you're not ready for a miracle until you really look at how much you don't want to admit you're affected only by your thoughts. Can you help me with a miracle to look, to see? And allow myself to fully see that I'm only affected by my thoughts. And thoughts can only come through my desire for them. And am I willing to admit the divine power I have to exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love? Is there any unwillingness to exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love? Will you show me any desire not to exchange fear thoughts for happy thoughts of love? He crucified himself. Oh, he's really showing me that yesterday. Self-crucifixion. How much, Jesus, show me how much I really, really, really want to crucify myself. He says you're just trying to crucify yourself with thoughts, of course, by making them real. And then you can like hack yourself into a bunch of little pieces just for the experiments of it. Am I trying to hack myself to death with thoughts? Crucify myself with thoughts? Can I give that desire up to you? Any under the bed dust bunnies on trying to crucify myself with thought? Yes, he's reminding me all the pain is in not just looking with them. Yet God has planned that his beloved son will be redeemed. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. All other plans will fail, and I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that what you have given me, the only thought that leads me to salvation, that you have given me the only thought that leads me to salvation. Mine alone will fail and lead me nowhere. But the thought you gave me promises to lead me home because it holds your promise to your son. Are you willing to look at the thought that God gave you? Jesus, I'm willing to look at the thought God gave me. I am affected only by my thoughts. said, that's a really good one to look at with me today. Join with your brother on and just see any denials of that thought, any desire not to see that I'm affected only by my thoughts. I think how powerful that is when that's fully seen through, that it's just like a little dust bunny. The thoughts are just little dust bunnies, little tumbleweeds kind of floating by. You see that solution can never be found in thought. It's always in identity, the light. Amen to that, Jesus. Thank you, holy brothers.